how will the web change when domain names go beyond .com and .org? We have Brian Cute, CEO of the Public Interest Registry, is going to explain what's going on here. Thank you very much for joining us. The next big thing in tech is, of course, the domain names being expanded. Tell us why and what's going on and what will happen.
Thanks for having me. Well, what you're looking at is likely an explosion of new domain names on the internet, and the reason why is to introduce choice, competition, and innovation. As you say, most folks know .com and .org and the country codes that exist today, but domain name space has been pretty stable for a number of years. So the purpose is to introduce choice, platforms for innovation, and I think it's going to be a very interesting time.
Now, you say it's going to be a very interesting time. Is it going to cause confusion or lack of security? I mean, is this just going to mess everyone up?
Well, not necessarily. How the users react is to be determined, but it will offer a lot of choices. So, for example, as the operator of .org, which is a very strong brand, a trusted brand, one possible outcome is that when users are faced with lots of choices at the supermarket, they tend to gravitate to the brands they know. You know, the Colgate, the Crest, and the toothpaste category. So I think strong brands like .org and .com will continue to be strong addresses on the internet. What you're going to see, though, I think, is some interesting niche type of innovations where you have domain names that serve a specific community. So we're going to introduce hopefully a .ngo for non-governmental organizations, but you'll see .eco for the environmental community. You'll see .gay. You'll also see geographic niches like .nyc for New York City, .paris, .london. So I think what you'll see is kind of new, innovative, niche-focused TLDs that creates exciting opportunities to serve communities.
What about security? I mean, will security remain the same issue? Will there be any new issues from this?
It is an important issue. If you're a registry operator, you're operating critical infrastructure on the internet. We do as .org. And as you know, there are daily attacks on the security of the internet. So ICANN's process...
Yeah, we talk about them frequently. You know, it's almost banal frequency, but it's not banal when you get attacked.
Not at all. DDoS attacks are very serious. So registry operators have to operate technically to a pretty high standard. And ICANN's process is requiring that of all applications. You have to demonstrate.
Explain to everyone what ICANN is, because not everybody knows that.
ICANN is the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers.
It really rolls off the tongue.
It really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? It's a not-for-profit in California that is charged with administering the domain name space and IP addresses for the internet. Really the backbone of the internet and how it's run. They're the administrator, and they're the ones that are opening up this round of new TLDs.
Okay. Now, what types of names will be likely to be approved? You gave some out just now, like .london and .paris. What others? And can you give us examples of ones maybe that won't be approved?
Well, you'll see .web, you'll see .sports, .tennis, .ngo, .london, .paris. I don't think you'll see things like .nazi or other inflammatory types of names being approved, but you'll see a wide spectrum of generic names, community-based names, geographic-based names. So it's going to introduce a lot of different options.
What about company names? Will a company like Apple want to, or be under pressure to have .apple?
Well, under pressure, I'm not sure, but obviously there's an opportunity for corporates. Corporate brands, .apple, .coke. You really have to focus in on what the marketing model is and what the business model is. In our industry, the measure of success has been, have you 1 million registrations or more in your database? That's the existing measure of success. In this paradigm, it's a different measure of success. If I can set up a .coke and draw my customers there and draw my traffic and interact with my customers in a unique way, then it's going to be a success. But if I've already got Coke.com and I've got good recognition there, good traffic and good sticky customers, that's a big decision. There's switching costs and moving your customers to another site has some risk.
So going back into what seems like ancient history, but isn't, there was something called cybersquatting that went on, where people register the name and they said .coke, Wall Street, whatever it was, and they went and they just paid the money and they got their domain names, and then Coke came up and said, what do you think of this? Is that going to happen again, or are there any safeguards against that, other than the rather large fees you have to get these, which are like $175,000?
$185,000 as an application fee.
$185,000. I'm sorry. It's still a lot of money. You're not going to be in a basement, a 14-year-old in the basement doing this.
No, you're not. Hopefully the answer is no. Throughout the process.
Hopefully.
Hopefully the answer is no.
I mean, why only hopefully?
Well, you never know how creative people can get on the internet, and they can get very creative. But in building out the process to introduce new top-level domains, ICANN developed two specific new mechanisms for trademark protection, a clearinghouse and a suspension system. There are mechanisms in place that will prevent cyber squatting. So the expectation is actually that that won't be a problem. But there's a lot of names out there.
So someone can't go out there and say .wallstreetjournal.com or .wallstreetjournal and have that, because that will be protected.
That will be protected.
That will be
absolutely
protected. Great. And will my name be protected too, or?
I should think so.
Oh, I would hope so.
You're a famous person, right?
Not quite, but anyway, thank you very much, Brian Cute, CEO of the Public Interest Registry. We really appreciate it, and that was the next big thing in tech.
Thanks
you very much,
sir. Appreciate it.